Good afternoon. It is October the 2nd, 2019, and this is the Bull Market Watch. We're going to jump in and check out some cryptocurrencies and see what's going up and what's going down. I am not ready for the live stream, but I think I'll just start it anyway here. Let me ease this music back. And before we jump into things, I want to give away a big hip hip hooray. I want to say thank you to the patron sponsors, and I want to add a reminder that the patron sponsorship is closed now till October the 28th, but we'll get into more of that. I'm just going to jump right into the main scene and point out that there is a disclaimer in the description down below. This isn't trading advice, just market observation. And I think going through the disclaimer panel without having the chat working is what is causing my problems. So now the chat is working. Dean H, good to have you along. If you're on the live stream, be sure to say hello. Let us know where in the world you're from. I'm gonna just double check that everything is working properly here. Seems to be setting up. And so the purpose of this live stream is to go through ADA, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, you see this along the side, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tron, and Ripple. And we're going through them with our set of indicators and comparing them against the basic trading plan. You can get a copy of this trading plan for free. You get the webinar over on introdocryptos.ca, and it's all for free so that you can actually learn this stuff. I know that when I was first starting out, to have this kind of information made a huge difference for me. And then I needed to practice it for a long time to really believe in it. And so by doing this daily live stream, it gives me a trading journal I can go back and look on to see what I was thinking about this day. And it's an avenue where I can help other people learn this thing as I'm practicing it. So in brief, we're looking for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's a failed retest of a recent high or low. A double bottom counts as the number 1 point, and we're looking for prices to break up above these levels from these, pretty solid basic textbook technical analysis patterns. And as it breaks above this, then we have our risk control rules for holding or not holding a trade, and we have our exit rules already established. And this way we know exactly when we're getting in a trade and why, and when we're getting out of it. So for each daily episode, we don't really look for trading signals every day because the trading plan is based on a longer term plan, but I want to document how the relative strength index is panning out against the prices as we're moving along. And so each day, the purpose is to go through and see if this RSI does that, then we would be doing the next thing. So it's a big series of if-then statements. And what I'd like to do to set a benchmark so that we can come back and review it all the time is to start off in a longer time frame and then zoom in. So for this, I can't do the weekly. I'll go to the daily, and I want to point out here that we have a nice bottom formation, and the RSI is really diverged from these bottoms. We have higher lows in the RSI, really important for the building of a bottom formation setup here. And then I want to go into the next indicator set for the same technical analysis pattern, the same chart pattern, and I want to every day review how this volume pattern is changing. Because as this breaks out and it confirms and it really is the bottom formation and we are going on an uptrend, we should actually see evidence of it in these charts. And if it is a fake out breakout and we're just going to be continuing down for more or sideways for more, then this should also give us the heads up as it's happening. So let's document it as it goes. One thing that I'm looking for is a good volume on a high, but less volume on the next high. That shows that the bulls are running out of steam. So we really have to see this on balance volume turn positive for this when ADA is breaking out, and that'll be a really good confirmation signal right there. So after I go through these cryptos, then I will entertain, oh, thank you, Smoking Altcoins. Then I'll entertain any coin request that you want. We can go through what's pumping right now on Binance. We can go through any coin that you want me to take a look at, and we'll run it through the ringers here and see how it stands up to our review. Now I'm looking at the MACD indicator, and I love this indicator. I like how it's crossing up and positive, but as I zoom in on this, it had crossed negative. We were seeing yesterday saying that it must cross positive before we're going up. To break these levels, this will cross positive. And now I'm going to zoom back and step into the 12-hour time frame. It's still indecisive until it crosses over. But the 4-hour time frame is giving us that little bit of lead notice now. It has already crossed positive, and as these histograms grow bigger and this flares wider, that's going to be a very strong confirmation that this is a long position to jump on. And then practice your risk control rules. The most important risk control rule, the difference between a successful trader and an unsuccessful trader at the very beginning of a trade, is depending on your fear and greed. A successful trader is fearful at the beginning of a trade, and they start off small, and then they add on to it when they're correct and it's safe. An unsuccessful trader gets greedy and puts it all on at the beginning, and your losses are biggest when it's not correct. We don't know if it's correct. It just looks good. Let's go on to the next indicator. And we're looking at the daily view of the Ichimoku cloud. Still hasn't come up above the cloud, so those trend following guys are going to sit back and say, you can all fight around in this sloshy water here, but I'm going to wait for the tide to change. And when that happens, then I'll put on my little one boot, and I'll put on another boot here, and then I'll be looking for exiting later after I'm back from the Bahamas. So there's lots of time in this. There's no need to FOMO in with a big position. You can start off small, do it safely. When it gets up above here, you can add on to it, have your average in the middle there. Okay, let me now go on to the next coin, because we're going to go through Bitcoin Cash. And this one's been kicked off my list because it came down to new lows here. So let's wait for this to build something and establish above it. Other than that, it's out. Just like that's it. And then we have the EOS. It's coming down to, it's sort of a roundish bottom now in this outlook. The RSI is giving us the beautiful divergence here on the 1-day view. As we go into the 3-month, so that we're on the 12-hour time frame, I like it. I like it because it gives us all sorts of very clear points that if this is breaking higher, as that's breaking higher, we should see confirmation in all of our indicators all the way along. And then we should get our add-on signal in one of these levels, depending on your risk control. Zoom in on this, same thing. I'll go on now to the volume. Let's see what it's doing. What are we on? The 12-hour time frame. So we did go from this big dump to steady buying going on here over the last few hours, the last day and a half. If we zoom into the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we had panic dumping and then buying going on. So this is getting steady purchasing. It's also a bear flag. So if this does break and start dumping, we have to see it. There should be something specific in the relative strength index to say that if this is breaking from this and it's a bear flag, then this will break the trend line down and it'll pass the midline. So there's our danger zone, that if this starts to break down, you can come back and double check the RSI. And of course, if you started with a small position, it's easy to get out. It's easy to take that loss and say, I'll try again later. Let's go on to EOS in the MACD indicator. 12-hour time frame has crossed positive, so that's better than ADA. The 4-hour time frame crossed positive, kind of brushing, but just the edge of positive right there. So again, as this flares positive and we're breaking out, we should see all of these indicators stepping up together. Here, that's good, very positive. And if this continues the histogram higher as we're breaking out, those are very positive signs. To start off with a small position right out of these great bottom formation, insane bottom formation right now in all of these things. And we've been tracking these for so long, you sort of get disbelieving it. But it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. You got to play that little bit of a hand on this every time it does it. Otherwise, of course, you're going to miss the signal when it does go, and you're doubting because you've been proven wrong so many times, then you doubt it. Start off small. 12-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame. So the Ichimoku cloud is giving us some positive stuff here. Sorry, I got to go back to the 12-hour. I was talking. Not through the cloud, not positive here on the 12-hour yet. What's the 4-hour saying? Because the 4-hour, if I scribble on it, it is crossing to the positive here. It is twisted to the positive, and the trailing indicator is up. That's looking pretty good. I just want this to twist, and not twist, but to go skinny as this is taking off. If our cloud goes skinny and we're breaking up above, there's another one of our confirming indicators set up for this to be taking off. Now, Ethereum the other day, the last few days, I've been watching for a top formation in this, and I've been pointing out this divergence in the RSI as we have this double top, and we have, of course, it's a potential head and shoulders top almost. Well, it's a 1, 2, 3 top here, and now it's a 1, 2, 3 here, that if it breaks below these levels, that's really important, especially if the RSI is breaking down below these midlines. So we do have some pretty clear areas. Let me step back. Pretty clear areas here on Ethereum if this is breaking down, but the daily will let it come back a little bit more before pooping. So even if it does come down to these levels, that's still okay, in the overall turnaround of the trend. Let me clear that off and zoom in on the RSI. So that breaking lower than these levels is red zone as it's coming up out of here, and we're breaking like it's rocket zone. Let me clear this off. So again, really clear watching to see if this is passing these center lines here. The first line was crappy. And breaking this top formation. That's super red zone in there. So again, start off small on this kind of trade. Let's go to Ethereum in the volume and see what's going on. Good volume, not as good volume. I think we saw this yesterday as well, that it looks like a divergence again across this top. Now, if we go on to Ethereum for the MACD indicator, and we zoom out, it is yet another divergence. Not terminal though, because this will wave all the way along the uptrend. What's the 1 day doing? Still indecisive, still not giving us an answer. So if we go in, skip the 12, go into the 4-hour time frame, not clear enough yet. It's not giving us the juice. As this is passing these levels and this is crossing over, and we're starting to go to the positive histograms there, that'll be a confirmation, but not giving us the confirmation yet. Still stand aside on this, not strong. And I don't like this divergence going on here too. So all of those divergences and the top formation make me want to short it actually. Ethereum, 3-month view. Well, let's go back to the 1 day view, because this is one of the few coins that's actually above the cloud. And yet it doesn't matter. It bounce off this cloud and keep going. That's still a natural, normal, expected range. And your position sizes should be small enough that this would be less than 0.5% of your entire portfolio if that was to happen. Your position size should be small enough that if you bought in here and it went down to here, that would represent 0.5% of your entire portfolio. So if you have $1, if you have $100, then this could only represent 50-cent loss if it went from this level down to this level. That's how big your position size should be. And then you should be diversified across a range of cryptos so that you're not gambling on one, but you're investing on the trend change for the entire sphere. So now I'm zooming in on this, and what I'm looking for is the blue cross. And I don't like that this is coming in and touching at all. It should stay wide away if we are going to be trending up. So if this picks up and goes wide away and this twists to the positive as we're breaking out, that'll give me some juice. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame is saying. Drag this back over. This is not as good. There's another top formation signal there, that blue crossing over the red. Remember when all of the alts, all 6 of the 7 that we're doing here, they all crossed, and I didn't notice it till the day after, going, hey, wait a minute. All of these crossed over here at the same time, so that this is crossing now gets more of my attention. Of course, if it's going down below these levels, I would expect it to be hitting the regular old 50% of the recent move. So yeah, coming back down to these levels would be just normal breathing in and out of the market, basically. Let's zoom back and go to our next coin, Litecoin. 1-year view. Of course, I'm super bullish long term on Litecoin. I think it'll go to $800 to $1,000 a coin after this next bull run is run. And it'll come back to $600, and it'll never come back to these levels again. And I could be completely wrong. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation is where we'll start out. We could do a springboard entry there, but I like to see that we are got a double bottom, and the RSI is picking up a little bit. Let's zoom in to the 12-hour time frame. The RSI is not as diverging nicely as the other ones are yet. So it seems to me this isn't shaping up and as hot as the others are. Let's see what the volume is saying on the 12-hour time frame. Yeah, it's not as hot. Look at that selling volume going on. I was all excited about it here, but not yet. There's time to wait. We'll wait for this to shape up and give us some more juice for Litecoin. It's got some time to do. And if Ethereum's coming back, Litecoin's probably going to suffer as well. 1-year time frame. Look at that, crossing to the negative. Zoom into the 4-hour time frame. It's negative, but if it crosses back and goes positive, it'd be okay. This is not giving us a positive sign here. So combining these few things together here, I'm getting the feel that these are all going to be pulling back. We'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance in a second here. Let's go into Litecoin, Ichimoku cloud, 3-month time frame, still under the cloud. So this is not setting up for a bullish move. When we get into the 4-hour time frame, it's going to take more time to get up above this cloud and these technical levels. So a couple of these are looking pretty good, but not Litecoin. Tron on the 1-year time frame has done a big long-term move. This trends just beautifully. So when it does break, we definitely want to have a small position that we hold for a long time and get prepared for it. So now that we have this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the lovely divergence here from the RSI, that's just beautiful. Let's zoom in. So as the RSI is breaking above these levels here and prices are taking off above it, it's just a no-brainer. It is screaming at us. And let's see what the volume says, because this is also looking so much better than Litecoin. Like, I was really poo-hoo on this coin all the way through here because it was looking terrible and it was going down. Now, this is a whole huge different ball of wax. Let's go into the MACD because we should get confirmation from every one of these indicators when this trading signal is correct and big. They should be yelling at us. So here we have the very nice divergence, and we have a cross to the positive right at the end. So this is turning into like the most sweet looking chart. A cross to the positive here, positive, positive, positive. Nice, nice, nice. Let's zoom in. Oh, not quite yet. Let's wait for this to cross and break above these levels, and it will time at about the same time as here. So depending on your risk control and your belief in this market, who knows, it could continue going sideways for a long time. We haven't gotten that evidence yet that it's broken the sideways trend. So let's zoom in a little bit more. That's more positive. But again, this has to break above these levels as well. It's got to show us that it's getting some more juice. Hey, GBU Wally. Good to have you along, and thank you for the $4.99. What is it called? Top chat, super chat. I've been enjoying the content after recording. Thank you very much. It's great to have you along. And I'm super stoked about everything that's going on right now in these markets. It's absolutely what we've all been dreaming about for the longest time. And to see it playing out and to document these things, it's exciting. It's just phenomenal. Let's go into the longer term time frame. Oh, I got to step back more. So it didn't poke through the cloud yet on the 1 day time frame. So that's lazy investors rather than the video called gambling speculators would still be able to sit back and just, wait. There's lots of time for this to come up off the cloud. On the 12 hour, that's the one. On the 12 hour, it's already above the cloud. So it's already given us our juice where the other ones haven't. So there's something different about this entire project, and I don't even know what it is, but I don't have to know. The whole market is telling me, the thousands of people who do know are telling me that this one's got more juice than Litecoin, and we can see it in our charts. So as this takes off and it outperforms Litecoin percentage gain wise, this is going to be a very nice treat to watch it unfold. So let's tune in tomorrow to see what's going on with TRX. Now, maybe I didn't start off with Bitcoin dominance, but now I got to step back here to the 2 hour time frame, and that'll take a second for it to load up. So while I'm waiting for that, let's go to this chart and take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin. So on the 4 hour time frame, we can see that Ethereum's making this potential top formation, but also looking strong. It is an ascending wedge triangle, and breaks above those levels are going to be crazy. And when we see the same thing setting up with Ripple at the same time, we can see both of these markets are the leaders. They are really showing strength. But Litecoin is laying flat. It's still holding back. And so when these take off and they blast way up, like we could jump on these and we make our profit in these and they come up to the 50% level. If I look back and I see the Litecoin still hasn't taken off, I want to balance out my portfolio. Isn't that a nice thing to say? I want to sell some of this and buy some Litecoin because it hasn't broken out of that 1, 2, 3 formation yet. So we can do some coin requests now. And one of the first I want to look at as my own request is POA, because it was a great example from today. But before we do that, let's go back to Bitcoin dominance. And I want to do this parallel channel that we've been running. I don't know where to cut the parallel channel actually, but no matter where I cut it, we can see that prices are now either broken below that parallel channel or as close to it as I can get it by twisting. And last time it came to this parallel channel, I was expecting alts to take off, and I was wrong. And here I was expecting alts to finally start taking off. We had this, and I was wrong. And here now we have this head and shoulders top formation, but we are also at what I would say is a nitro position. If I am going to be trading toward with the trend, then we have the trend change here. We have the trend confirmation. Pardon me. There we go. Coffee makes it better. So this would be a nitro phase for me. If it breaks out of this area and starts to break higher than this, that is like alts are going to be crushed, because I'm expecting that this is going to do the big move then all the way back up to support and resistance levels. And this would be with Bitcoin taking off and doing a parabolic move up from where we are and then coming back down. That would crush the crap out of all of the alts, and then altcoin bull market season would start. So we're still in danger zone, even though we are sort of turned the corner. I'm not believing in our nitro down the other way until we have something like this in dominance. So it's got to do a bigger nasty for me. And then on this phase, as we're going, That's going to be nitro for the altcoins. Thing is really taking off. Now, for your coin requests, after my coin requests, I'm going to butt in line here. And I'm filtered by BTC, and I'm going to scroll down to POA. Dump this. And we had our trading signal the other day. We had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that was shaping up. And as it came back to these levels, we set out an alert for our Pro Alert subscribers. And now that we were able to get in earlier and we're sitting on this move, it's really good to just sit and watch it. To have the plan in advance. So again, if you haven't already, go to the website intro-to-cryptos.ca and get the plan, get this whole trading system. It teaches you the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and it also talks about the 5 stages of the trade. And like everything, a trade has its full life cycle from the beginning stages to the end stages, and there are things to do and not do at the beginning stages of the trade. So as soon as this is blasted off, it is kicked out of our contention. It is no longer a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. As soon as it's broken above these levels, you can't play anymore. You can't play, 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 you can't play. If you're following my game, you can't play when it does this. You're already too late. The good news is there's a ton of other markets that are going to be fun to play in. And the good news is, if I zoom this back out, we already know that all these markets do pumps and dumps. And the reason is people are getting excited and they're doing market orders here to buy into it because it seems like it's going to go to the moon, right? You buy into it and then it starts pulling back and you go, oh shit, I'm wrong. I can't take this loss. That's quite a big percentage drop. That's a big percentage drop. That's a lot of loss. And so you shit and you sell it and the prices come back down. So there's always this wave of people who are prepared in advance and they've already purchased and they're just sitting picking their teeth while all this is happening. And actually we're waiting now for it to come back down to these levels and give us another consolidation because it's an even better place to be adding on. Remember, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation has 2 different entry points. And I always talk about this, so I'm very keen to have an example. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. One of the entry points is on the breakout, on the breakout, on the breakout. The other is when the price comes back and retests the number 2 point. Then we're proven that it is not a fake out breakout going to continue down the downtrend. Have you seen those before? 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout comes down and then right? So we want to guard against that. In fact, that's a mess. In fact, we kind of want to assume that is going to happen. And if it is, then we can relax. We know that there's going to be pieces to pick up as it comes back down here. And if it doesn't, and it hesitates and stabilizes, then that's great. We can get in. If it comes up, anything else we can get in, but not when it's moving. We can't play there. We have to wait till after. Another great thing is that now that we've seen this, it's like ringing the bell, ringing the gong. We know that all of these bottom formations are real. If we go into our October Patron Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, we can see the progression of the bull market shaping up here. All these green lines shaping up and rising. This is the bull market progressing. The only thing we're watching for now is if the yellows pull back and the greens start to pull back and the white starts to increase, that may mean that we're running out of steam and we're starting to slip on the spot. If the oranges and the reds starts to pick up, then we are actually going back down and Bitcoin's going to be crushing us. So we should see that here as this unfolds. Now I will go to the chat. Hey, look at that. Setting up on the screen. I'm going to play with that size. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, I'll work on that later. Okay, watching from France currently. Wow. Love the daily consistency. I am focused on being consistent on these times of the day because it fits in between my yoga classes perfectly. But I'll say that this morning at 5 a.m. I was not prepared, and at 3 p.m. I was not really prepared, but it went off pretty good so far. Let's go on now, and I'll go through your requests, any coin that you want me to take a look at. Basic Attention Token and Raven Coin. You've got some good sniffers there. You're picking out some good ones. So I want to believe, Adrian, that you have downloaded the course from intro-to-cryptos.ca. You took that webinar and you're recognizing now the little 1, 2, 3 formation here and the larger 1, 2, 3 formation shaping up here. Of course, there's the classic triangle pattern. Man, that gets up messy. Then there's the classic triangle pattern here that gives us what a lot of people call the measured move, where you can take this last consolidation and stand it up, and that's where we're going to go, and it's going to be in a different shape than that. So we can easily already plan out that we are going to get a very significant move over the next, I would say, couple months, right? How long did this take? From February, March, April, May. So a good 5 or 6 months for this to unfold from here. Let's imagine. And as those 5 or 6 months unfold, we're going to have waves up to the 50% level, back to the 50% of that run, and then our nitro phase of the trade up to the top formation where we cross over and we have our exit point. So then you would buy part 1 of your trade here, and you would think of buying part 2 of your trade here. And this could be with leverage, if there is a place to trade with leverage, or just a larger position, so that you're looking to, now that the trend has proven itself, then you're looking to be bigger when you're correct. And of course, anytime that the 4-hour exponential moving averages cross over, we have to exit at least half of our position. And if the 12-hour exponential moving averages cross over, the rest of our position is closed. And that's it. And this is what we do in the Patron Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, is we color code exactly that. So if I go to the Poloniex sheet and I go back to January and February, can you see that? Yeah. January and February. You can see how the color coding progressed, where we went into alert status and we went into hold status here in BitShares and Clam. That was a catastrophe for some people. Civic Coin, Dash, BCH, Basic Attention Token, as it was taking off here, February and March. Let's go back and take a look at that. February and March. Close this off, drag this back. So February and March, look at that, beautiful. We had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It was a hold status coin until these crossed over on the 4-hour time frame, a little jumping in and out here, and then out finally here with the 12-hour crossing over here, where we were probably a little jumping around going on in this point. But really nice as it went through this phase of the trade, and we can see the color coding unfold as that happened. So February the 9th, it was neutral, and then it was getting up close on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So let's drag this back and zoom in. February 13th, 14th, and 15th. It was an alert status coin on the 12-hour time frame. Sorry, I got to drag this back again. So we have our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We have the exponential moving average crossover, and it turned into a hold status coin. So then it stayed in a, where'd it go? It stayed in the color coding. Here's where the 4-hour must have crossed over. And then we're still into the hold status right until April the 2nd here is when this chart runs out. Really great to see this graphically and to have the graphical colors show us when to get out. Fantastic. From Australia, good to have you along. Love Aussies. My nephew is in Australia working and doing very well. He's an amazing fella. Anyway, let's go on to Basic Attention Token. Beautiful 1, 2, 3 formation. I like it. What else did we get from Basic Attention Token and Raven Coin? Oh yeah, so you've got your eye on some really good patterns. R, L, M, and O, P, Q, R. Then I'm looking for RA. Raven Coin got away from me before, where it did this and just took off. There was no 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I can't buy into it and while it's taking off. And so this whole run until it did this consolidation, everything there was nothing I could touch. But this time it's completely different. Here on the 1-day time frame, we can see a very nice bowl-shaped change of direction. We can see some very nice support and resistance all the way back through time. Really, really awesome. Going to the 12-hour time frame, we've already got our exponential moving average crossover. And on this time frame with the 60-20 EMA, it gets to be a little bit fuzzy when the market goes sideways for too long. And I have to start using the daily view in order to get my crossover to show me that the market has changed direction and is not just trending sideways forever more. I want to be sure that I'm not getting into the sideways market. One of the things that I really like on this chart specifically is this 200 period simple moving average. As everything is all converging and crossing above this, it is really crazy no-brainer trade. And I don't like to ever say that. And they are no-brainers so long as you have our risk control rules. If you know how we're approaching risk at the beginning and through the middle of a trade, then this is a no-brainer. This is the place to be taking a measured risk with a small bit of capital. This is the place. And I want to go to Raven Coin and take a look at PQRVN. I want to look at the MACD because we do have crosses to the positive, crosses to the positive. It's a very nice divergence as this bowl-shaped bottom shapes up, but we need to have it to break higher as this is going. It'll confirm. It will. 12-hour time frame? The 4-hour time frame has pulled back to give, it's like stepping back in the room to get a good run at the door so you can hit it with your shoulder. And I like to see the shorter time frames of the MACD do this pull back and drive forward as the longer term time frames don't. As the longer term time frames are staying steady and wide and the shorter term time frames are doing this wave, it's gonna blast. It's gonna really take off. I love this chart. Glad to have that. Yes, love Basic Attention Token. Civic Coin. The only thing that can ruin these good setups is Bitcoin either going up or down, and we have our really terrible view here now. Let's zoom in on Bitcoin dominance so that we have that ready. And then I'll go and look at Civic Coin as that other chart loads up. CV. Civic Coin, I like their project. I like that you can do your know your customer identity setup with Civic Coin, and then you just use Civic Coin to confirm with all of these other web services, and I don't have to keep taking pictures of my ID, having it on my phone, having it on my computer, sending it across the internet for every damn place I sign up to. So I know that there's a couple competing projects, and I probably should be investing in those too. But when I look at the chart pattern here, and we're looking at the relative strength index, we're getting the similar pattern here that we see on many of the coins. That we have this major divergence setting up from these bottom formations. It's really beautiful. And this is a coin that is prone to do some spikes. So I would be set up for popcorn moves in that I would buy 100 coins and I would have 20 coins set for sale here already, 20 here and 20 here. Let me mute you to save you this siren. It is high traffic time, and traffic is fills the road, and then the fire trucks come along. There's no place for the cars to go. It's such a noisy. Anyway, if you've been a bag holder of this for years, say I already have 1,000 coins of this or 10,000 of it, I would put 20, maybe 5%, 10, 20% of my coin in layered sell orders as high up as Binance would let me. And I would anticipate that this is going to happen. And then as soon as it pulls back, I can either buy more, or I can take that profit and reinvest. I can redistribute and diversify across the crypto sphere. So cryptos are manipulated. It's one of the reasons I don't like to have stop losses below cryptos, because you can just get cleaned up so easy. And it's one of the reasons I like to have stop orders above it, because it is manipulated, and I want to be there. If there is a pump and dump, there is some crap going on, then I automatically take my profits with a portion of my position. Hopefully, if I buy $1 of it here, I'm going to put 50 cents of it worth of for sale up here, so that it completely pays for my investment. Now I'm trading with free money, and I can reinvest that profit. So as soon as I see this and I see where we are and what it's done in the past, I just want to get prepared for that. I want to get prepared for the popcorn move. But I love this chart pattern. Love it. Love the project. And I would have to, I have some, but just a very small amount of it for the long 3 to 5 year plan, that it'll go from 500 Satoshi to 50,000 Satoshi. So it'll 10 times and then 10 times again. Which if you put in $20, that turns into 200 if it 10 times. And if that 10 times again, you've got $2,000 on your 20. And remember, many coins have done that. So, you know that old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm putting $20 into all of these cryptos. And if it goes to nothing, I lost $20. But really, it's an important insurance policy, I think. Okay, let's go on to OMG, because I'm off track and running out of, no, not bad for time. OMG, OMG. I was sucked in by the beautiful marketing that this company did at the beginning. It was wonderful. It had these great breakouts, and then it had this big exhaustion candle, and I thought, that's really odd. You know, if it's as good as everybody says it is, and it's making this triple top formation, the 3 touches of death, well, I'm not so confident in it. And then I didn't play with OMG until it did this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I played a little game, but we didn't want to play together long. And now that it's come down to this formation, maybe it's going to pick up and do something and change directions, but I would play very small in this because it has broken down below these levels here. Let me change this chart a bit. In fact, I wouldn't play here at all. There's many other good playgrounds that we can play in right now. And I categorize those playgrounds by what they did versus the, August price sphere. So there were a category, as I've go through all these coins every single day to color code to the Patron Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. It gives me a really quick overview of everything as it's going. And then after a bit of going through it day after day after day after, you start to see patterns that are common between groups of coins. And so there's this one pattern of coins that are doing this from the August price levels. See, it's down below those levels in August. And then there are coins that we've already purchased into for most of our alerts, is that they've finished this 1, 2, 3 bottom and they've gone higher than this stage that we had in August. So it's like there's a class division all of a sudden of the poor class coins that just didn't pick up, and these nice class coins that took off and went above these levels. So those are the coins that I'm more interested in now, that they be staging and going higher, then I can be adding on to those ones that I'm correct on. This will likely be stage 2 or stage 3 after the first waves of the big cryptos go. So if I go back out to the 1 year view and just take a little reflection on what happened in December when these bottoms took off, there were a class of coins that did this, and then they pulled back. before the April 1st breakout. There was a second class of coins that got hammered on the April 1st breakout, and then they started their way down. Like this one, it made a little run up here. And so there are early wave coins and there are later wave coins that we can play a little bit, but not until it comes to the party. So there's lots of other places to party right now, and this one, it could be the very bottom. It could be the most amazing place to buy it, but I'm not playing until we change directions in here. And OMG, now take a look at Digibyte. Digibyte, for all of its wonderful technology, DGB, for its amazing technical speed and everything going on with it. I really followed along with a lot of the social media, and I was super excited by this specific chart pattern as this was building up. I was super stoked. As this broke out of these levels, I saw moonscape everywhere. I saw this shaping back up again. And then it made a top formation and the exponential moving averages crossed over, and I couldn't believe it. In fact, I was in denial and I held on to it. As it broke down below these levels, I thought, oh shit, that's not so good. I did play a little bit again here and I got kicked out. No, actually I got kicked out. I held it until just it turned into like barely any profit at all. All this work waited all that whole time, and then it was like, damn it. And down she goes again. So for me, this is another story of woe and sadness, that look at the July level and the August level. Until it's back up above these levels, I don't want to play. So there could be a little bit of a starter play here. If it is turning around and it's going to go with the overall general market, but you can see that it would be something to feather into, build into, let it show me that it actually has changed trends, and then I'm going to be more happy about it, because it does trend well when it goes. And it does take off with the general market on the big moves. It really worked well with the bull markets at the times. So when we had this little bull run here, it did well. So when this bull run takes off, I imagine it'll do well again. So those are the places to be thinking of. You could do, say, 100 coins here, right, at 100 Satoshi. And then at 120 is too soon. I want to have more space between me. So if I get in at 100, I don't want to add on till 200. So if I bought $100 of it here, I could add on another $100 of it here, and my average entry would be 150 Satoshi, and my stop loss would be at 160 Satoshi. And I've got this good protection below my actual real position of now 200 units of this coin, in anticipation of the longer term trend and the real profits coming in. So I've carefully established myself a position, and then I'm going to wait until the 12-hour exponential moving averages cross over. The 4-hour and the 12-hour, whenever they cross, I'm getting out, because it could be now, but this is beautiful. All of these coins now you just average this out over the entire sphere and you're rocking. You don't need another lesson. GVT probably didn't fail out. Did I look at Link yet? Not yet. GVT didn't fail out. It hasn't had time to manifest yet. Let's go to GVT. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, V, T. Yeah, again, I'm going to go into the 3-month view, and I like this better, but it wasn't one of the front runners, and so we didn't grab any of it yet because it had sunk below this August level and was struggling to poke its nose above it. And so when it does, it's going to trend. I do believe this will trend. It's got a lot of right at that exact time, right there. And what did we have just before that? As we're going through our potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we had the 3 touches of death. 1, 2, third time, I'll bet you if we open up any indicators, we would see that the volume was poorer under this spot. I bet you we would see that there is a negative divergence in all of the long-term MACD indicators as we had these 3 touches of death. And then broken. Down she went. Now, as it builds establishment above these levels, we can anticipate I would say a pretty good straight up recovery, though I don't know what angle. I don't know what level. But there would be specific places between this for the looking for the nitro spot. So first of all, I want it to come up and then pull back into these ranges at technical levels. At technical levels, as it comes up and ranges here, then we've got a really good add-on spot too. Then we're established for the 3 to 5 year position, and there's nothing else to do. It's important that you do nothing until the exponential moving averages cross over. The market tells us when to do something. The market tells us when the crossover happens, and the market tells us, and it tells us, and this we had the 3 touches of death, and then it broke. So as it takes up off of these levels, this market is going to trend. Pretty cool. I appreciate that you brought that up. I hadn't looked at it in this kind of depth before. So let me now link coin, LGHIK, link. 1 year. Whew, look at that having taken off. I was calling for this to go lower through this level. Right across this level, as this was shaping up. Why was I saying lower? Well, first of all, the RSI was giving us sort of a hidden negative divergence here, that we have higher highs, but it's even highs in the RSI. The RSI was breaking lower as this was coming down, so it was looking like a potential top formation. But as it broke above these levels, we can see the RSI gave us the clear go-ahead signal as that was breaking above these technical levels. Beautiful. We took this as an alert earlier, though. We did a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on this. Let me go grab it from our alerts spreadsheet. HIJKL link, and this is the screenshot of the actual alert that was sent out. So it was even a late entry. And where's the profit loss on it? It's up 23%, even though we got in on a late entry out of this. But there's the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, the official spot back here. If you had been knowing the plan, you don't need for my alerts. You can do this on your own. It's clear. It's 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The exponential moving average crossed over and broke down trend line. Done deal. Then you just have to practice your risk control rules, and it all works. So I'd love to see another example like this, but I do compulsively need to go and look at this indicator, HIJK in link, because it was always positive. This is a beautiful example of the long-term MACD staying wide and positive as we've broken out of this bottom formation. So it just said full bore go all the way along. And if we zoom into the 12-hour, this is when we start to get some of the oscillations, pulling back and then going forward. Pulling back, here you see the histograms in the background, pulling back and then going forward. Didn't cross negative as we were setting up this formation. Those are the confirmations that I want to document. Those are the things that I watch for, but to document it as it's actually occurring is gold. Really, this is how money is made. Money doesn't grow on trees. It grows on charts. It grows by these specific patterns. And when you learn to recognize and combine them, it gives you the exact moment to take an action on a small scale and then to work your way in when proven correct with our risk control rules. Beautiful. So now stop just above entry and hang back, because this is probably going to get wild. If you're walking a big dog, you may want to give him a long leash. Let him go from side to side on the path without freaking out about him wandering back and forth, because the path is pretty clear here. The path is pretty clear, and the stops, for my own part, I'm trying to catch the trend, and so I do less well in a choppy market. I leave my stop 2 levels back. So this is one level back. I want to leave my stop back below everybody else's, so that when the manipulation occurs, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, it's all mathematical, they are going to reach and dig for the stops. And I don't want to be stopped out. If I was good enough to get into a position and I'm profitable, I want to keep it. I want to keep it, especially at these times when things are changing direction. I want to take more risk with the profits I have than with my original money. But that's, that's up to you. You got to think about that for your own risk. So I'm taking the approach of show me the charts and I'll tell you the news approach from here onwards. Yeah, actually, the news is always written after the fact to explain what happened. It is never written to anticipate what is coming. So as prices are coming down and you listen to the news here today, it has to be bad. As a news producer, I must speak of evidence and reality and what is actually here. As investors, we are not focused on reality and what is actually here. We're focused on potential and what could come mathematically and with risk control rules. And so our focus is quite a bit different than news reporters. Now, the news reporters are going to say, oh my God, what a great breakout. It's gone up 40%. And if you jump in on that now, you're at far greater risk. It's coming up to support and resistance levels. It's going to bounce back. And if it doesn't, of course, that's great for us who are in it already. But it's not a place to be buying at this point. When the news reports it, it's already gone past. Look what just happened with silver and gold. The news went all crazy about it, but it was long past the time to be getting in at those lows. Hey, glad you appreciate them. I think about this stuff all the time and studied this stuff for more than 20 years. So it's now I want to put it to use so that it grows my money astronomically as it has since I started trading cryptos. Of course, the last year and a half has been rather a lot of blues, but now finally we've come around to the change in the markets, the change in the trends. Let's rock it. Now I am running out of time. And so I do want to find my... I do want to thank you guys again and give another hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! To all the people who support this channel as a patron member. Right now, you can't join as a patron member until October the 28th. Then we'll open up some new spaces. But until then, all of the benefits and all of these details are just for the people who are already patron sponsors. And if you're late and you want to FOMO in, you can join with crypto to pay for just this 1 month only. And then you can transfer to pay with fiat currency when October 28th comes around and we're opening up some new spaces. And if you do join up, you get these alerts sent to you every single day. So you can see here, and I'll give you the inside tour. You can see here that we have 17 alerts in Poloniex today. We have 7 coins in hold status. We have 1 coin that went into exit status today, and that is really important to know when things have crossed over and told you to get out of it. So this information, this brief, and these charts are sent out to everybody who is a patron sponsor every single day automatically. That upgrade is already in place. And then there's the link to bring you back to the spreadsheet where you can zoom in and you can actually see what are the 17 alert coins. We can see here that the yellow color is alert. So we have Ardor, we have Banker Network Token, BitShares, Civic, Doge, and here you are. Ardor, Banker Network Token, BitShares, Civic, Doge. So it shortens the list for you, so you don't have to go searching through everything. You can go now, grab the charts and see why are these in hold status. You can go back to the website and grab that free trading plan from intro-to-cryptos.ca and you'll understand what all this means. You can make great use of this stuff. And as RC said, there's no other place you can get this kind of information on the internet. Nowhere else is doing this, what I'm doing here with altcoins. I would love to share it with you and have you join in our profits. In the meantime, let's keep our eye on Bitcoin dominance, because if Bitcoin dominance is rising from here, we are in trouble, and we'll have to pay attention to our altcoins and our stop losses on all of the profitable altcoins that we're already in right now. If this is pulling back, I'm really paying attention to this sharply, quickly. If it starts dropping, no doubting. Don't doubt. Don't hesitate. Start off with a small position and get your butt into a few of those altcoins that you see are all shaped up. That'll wrap it up for today. Thank you again for tuning in. I will sign off and wish you the best in all of your crypto trading. See you over on the website. Bye for now.